Hello everyone, it's Chris at Garage Times. Thanks for tuning back into the channel. Today I was going to do a quick video while I got time here on some drivability concerns for vehicles, and this should cover the vast majority of them. You ever by chance, put gas into your vehicle and for whatever reason it doesn't want to start? Sounds kind of strange, eh? Runs pretty decent most of the time. There could be some drivability concerns with rough idle or anytime you put fuel in it, it just hard starts afterwards. Well, you gotta love emissions, right? Or emissions related capturing equipment. So I had a couple stories here. First one, and they're quick. So what ended up happening is a customer said, hey, I put fuel in my vehicle, it won't start, and I would like you to go through the fuel system and check this fuel problem out for me. So I'm like, okay. And he actually recommended, he goes, hey, can you maybe just replace the fuel filter and see if that clears it up? And I'm like, sure, And like, if you don't have any type of like OBD2 codes that are coming up, and that very well may be the case because sometimes these drivability concerns will not leave any type of engine codes. And that's, simply because it's not doing it enough, or it's intermittent, it's not frequent enough for it to cause the computer to say, hey, this is a problem, I want you to check on it. And then even then, when your computer sets a code, is that actually the part that's bad, that's related to that code and part? It could be actually something up or downstream that's communicating to that module or wherever that sensor is reporting to. So to get to the meat and potatoes of this, so a customer said, hey, yeah, can you check that vehicle, go through the fuel system? And like, first thing I did, I did double check to make sure there's no codes. And then knowing what I know, I'm gonna go right to the vent solenoid. So your vent solenoid design on newer vehicles, or any vehicles that are manufactured with emissions related equipment, including that vent solenoid, what happens is they can fail completely, or they can fail intermittently. The intermittent part will give you the drivability concerns. So your vehicle run rough, might run good at some times, and what's happening is that vent solenoid's opening and not closing at the proper times. So if you go to the gas station and you put fuel in your vehicle and your vehicle is hard starting after, go to your vent solenoid, look that up and read all about it. Normally, that vent solenoid is normally closed, right? It's supposed to open when you're going down the highway at highway speeds. It'll vent to your intake manifold, however the computer is set up for how much it's supposed to open, for how long, so that it can vent those excess fuel vapors into the intake manifold to burn them up so they don't escape out of your gas tank and cause environmental concerns. So what happens is when they fail in the open position, what happens is that stuff is gonna vent right to your intake manifold all the time. So you get to the gas station, you go to fill her up, and all that liquid fuel takes up all that airspace inside your tank, right? It pushes all that fuel vapor up into your intake manifold, and because your vent solenoid has failed, it is open, it's pushing all those fumes into that intake manifold. Guess what happens? You have a super rich condition that your car, your PCM, ECM, does not know that all that extra fuel's in there. So, because your fuel system is designed to have a specific amount of fuel, a specific amount of air, mixed together to get that perfect fuel to air mixture ratio and to ignite. So what you have is a super, super rich conditions where your vehicle's not gonna wanna start, right? Takes a little bit, eventually it does. Those fumes are getting vented mechanically through your cylinders and out your exhaust. They're not igniting, right? Because it's rough, it's not wanting to start. It's gonna vent through all the compression, and it's gonna shoot them out your exhaust pipe. So eventually it should start, right? So I want you to look that up, vent solenoid. If you have this hard start problem, it's like I said, on all vehicles. The most recent ones I had was like a mid 2007 Chevy Trailblazer, and ended up, that was the one where hard starting after fuel's being put in it, and he said, hey, please check out the fuel filter, which it was not the fuel filter. I did not replace the fuel filter. I went right to the vent solenoid, and what I did is I pulled that vent solenoid off, and because I know that when it's off and there's no power to it, it's supposed to be closed, so you can blow through it, and you should not be able to blow through that. If you can blow through that, it is bad. So, and the other most recent vehicle was a late model Ford Escape, like 2000, in the teens, 17, 18. And actually that was a vehicle I never actually got to work on, but it was a friend of mine. He had one of his buddies having problems. He said, hey, can he bring his vehicle over? Can you scan it on your computer and check it out? And when I'm talking about scanning stuff, like some stuff leaves you codes. You can use one of these very, very cheap ones. I'm not sponsored by these folks, but it gives you the very basics for searching up what you need to. They make way more expensive and better ones than this, but this gets you by for, at least you can look up a code if it sets one. And you know, if you're into this, or you're gonna get into this, you can get like a more advanced one where you have like bi-directional control where you can shut stuff on and off. And in that case, that vent solenoid, you should be able to open and close it. You can go outside the vehicle with this, and you can on and off that with that bi-directional control, and you should be able to hear it click. So open and shut, click, click. It's just a solenoid, nothing super fancy about it, and it's pretty easy technology to understand once you kind of get your mind around it a little bit. But this other vehicle in the teens, like 2017, 2018 Ford Escape, it ended up having that same problem. Buddy says, hey, can we scan it? And I said, well, tell me what's going on. And he told me what's going on. I said, hey, I can, but this is what's going on. Because he said, hey, every time I put fuel in my vehicle, it doesn't start worth a darn. It takes forever, and eventually it starts. But then it runs fine. And then all of a sudden it'll stop working. It'll stop running good. It's got a rough idle then again. But then it goes away. But every time I put fuel in it, it's no dice. It's bad. So I said, hey, listen, change that vent solenoid. That's your problem. When you take it off, try to blow through it. It should be closed. It only opens at highway speed. So it's a normally closed solenoid. So there it is. You guys have a good one. I hope this helped. Hope it wasn't too long. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and look forward to some more good content. You guys have an awesome one. You're the only reason why I do these videos, so have a good one.